I had an in-depth conversation with Damien Sergott today. He runs a transfer platform and has a lot of insight on the industry. So take a look at what he thinks, and apologies for any audio issues that pop up. We had a slight problem. It should all be fixed, but you might notice it. Sorry again. Okay, so today we are talking to Damien from 321 Transfer. First question, how are you doing?
Great. Thank you, Joe, for asking. And I have the same question for you. I hope that you're quite good and everything is all right.
I'm pretty good, a little bit tired, but that's how it is. So, the first question that a lot of people are going to have if this is their first time having any exposure to you or what you do is, who are you and what is it that you do exactly?
So, Joe, and our listeners, as Joe mentioned, I'm Damien. I'm co-founder of transfer platform for football clubs, 321 Transfer. We are on the market for over a year, I think so. And yeah, uh, this is the thing.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about 321 Transfer, what it does, and what sort of sets it apart from what exists in the market already?
So as I mentioned, we are a transfer platform for football clubs. We wanted to make a tool, and we did only for football clubs to help them to work on the transfer market, to communicate directly with each other, uh, and maybe to give them uh, back. The power over transfer market. Yeah, this is what we basically do, um, and we wanted at the beginning of our work we wanted to change how transfer market rules, and this is the way how we want to do it by direct contact between the clubs.
So, with that, I'm guessing that means that you've seen some issues that exist in the transfer market, some problems that various clubs and players have to deal with. What do you think is the biggest issue in the
So, to be honest, today the transfer market is ruled by third parties who create a lot of communication noise and rise the operating costs of individual transfers, as you probably know. Mm, and also transfers that would be probably the best for the clubs and the players doesn't take place. They don't take place, uh, and in most of cases because of non-sporting reasons. So this is the issue that we see at the moment.
Okay, so would you say that one of the biggest issues that you have to deal with in the transfer market at the moment is sort of agents having their say, or would you say maybe them getting in touch with journalists who leak things, and then you've got an ongoing spiral of communication getting out of the hands of clubs?
Yeah, also, but to be honest, I believe that agents are also still needed on the market. You know, you cannot change the whole transfer model so drastically, and you have to do it. How to say that properly, step by step.
Yeah.
Uh, but let's also remember that there will be many clubs that will never resign from the traditional model, and this is also the thing. It's all about the alternative. For example, you'll take the hotel. I will use Airbnb. I will take the taxi. You will use Uber and so on. It's the same thing here. You know, we meet and talk with a lot of clubs, a lot of sports directors and chief scouts, um, and we see a lot of issues, not only the one I mentioned before, but there's still a lot of things to do, and especially if we speak about the way how the people in clubs think.
Yeah. So when it comes to solving these problems, A, what do you see as some of the biggest issues that are facing both clubs and players from this? And B, have you seen any like tangible results from 321 transfers work towards solving those for the clubs and players that are involved?
Yes, sure. You know, we see also a lot of problems inside of our, let's say, company, and this is the thing we are talking to the clubs, and Also, we are also changing a lot on the platform to fit their needs. So this is obvious that we are not, how to say that, to be understood. We are not ideal, and we know that. But we know that a lot of clubs also already made some transfers on the platform. They talked and scheduled some friendly games as well because of the direct contact. So we see that there is a light, bright light in the tunnel. And we are changing. Next month we will have a new version of the platform. There will be a lot of changes, and I think that the direction is good, and we are very, very optimistic because of that.
Yeah. So, from a player's point of view, you said that you don't want to get rid of agents because, of course, they do a job protecting players and stuff like that. So, from the perspective of players, is this a change that is needed, or is this a change that clubs want because they want to be able to deal with one another rather than through agents and stuff? Is it beneficial for the players themselves for the clubs to make the transfers rather than?
The thing is that at the moment we have a situation that, for example, Joe, you're a player and I'm your agent, and I have a provision from the club and I have provision from you. My provision from you is uh, is a person from your salary. If I'm speaking with the club, where's you where is how you can be sure that I negotiated the best salary for you if
Yeah,
there is conflict of interest.
yeah,
So you can answer, knowing that situation, you can answer yourself.
hmm, yeah. You've got an agent in the middle who's sort of trying to play with both sides and doesn't get the best result for either. Sort of.
Yeah, but to be good understood, and to be honest, there's a lot of players on the sorry, not players but agents that do a good job. So this is also a thing that I want to highlight, that it's all about the alternative, and it's all about more options on the market.
Yeah, it's sort of freeing the market up for players rather than
Yeah.
restricting them. Okay, so I'm going to go to a couple of more contemporary questions about sort of ongoing transfers that I think are sort of interesting and you might have a little bit of insight on. So one of them is the case of what's happening at Leeds United at the moment. I don't know if you're aware, but it's a situation in which agents negotiate clauses in a bunch of Leeds players' contracts in the event that if Leeds get relegated, they can be loaned out to other clubs. Now, from a Leeds perspective, fans are seeing that as that's not good. We're just losing a lot of players for no money. From the players' perspective, that's completely fine because they can just go. But
Go
there's
away,
an
yeah,
argument
play
that
for another clubs, yeah.
yeah, but there's an argument that Leeds as a club are gonna have issues because obviously you've lost a lot of a squad without much financial gain. Now, from your perspective, what's sort of the cause of that, and is anyone to blame, or is that just how it is in the current market?
The current market looks like that, and you are asking me probably about the power and who has the most power on the market. So power is a big is a big word, but in our opinion, as a company, as a platform, uh, the greatest value is football club. The club is the money broker between fans, sponsors, players, and even agents. The clubs, fits the whole football ecosystem, uh, and also decision makers from the club makes certain rules. If we speak about FIFA, UEFA, ECA, and so on. And I think that it's a constant tug of war, and struggle for the influence. And but for us, the clubs should be at the top of the sorry at the top of the pyramid of the needs.
So, in the case that a club has sort of allowed those clauses to exist, it's sort of a mistake on their part because they've given a bunch of the power over to play potentially other clubs to nab the play. That makes sense. That's phrased not very well.
Yeah, but this is a very complex question.
Yeah.
And I don't want to appoint the only guilty part here, because we
Yeah.
have club players, agents, all of them wants the best for themselves, and this is the thing, we are talking about huge money that can change a lot of lives. uh, but I think that it's not the the question of 1, 2, 5, or decade. It's not it's not a question of a decade, but of a much longer period. I think that the revolution is coming. That we want to, and we want to be as a platform also a part of this revolution. Of course, it won't happen tomorrow or next month, but it will probably take a few years. You are young and smart guy, so you know that technology has to be trusted, and probably we have to raise some individuals and teach them how to function in this new system, which is in the making. But in the word to sum up, maybe there has to be some generational change in football. I'm
Yeah.
thinking loud. I'm also quite young. Mm, or maybe we have to realize that technology can be a huge advantage for us as a decision makers in the clubs or something. It's very difficult question
Yeah.
to answer.
So is it a trend like we've seen in like across the world of football with various clubs seeing data as something that they can use, and then clubs that use sort of younger and more innovative thinkers are taking full advantage of that, such as your Brightons
Yeah,
and your
but Joe,
Brentfords?
look where we have this young people in football clubs, probably in scouting and marketing. And you said about the scouting tools like Y Scout, Stats Bomb, and many more. And this is the thing. I think that yeah, we spoke about the structure in the club. So you have young people in the scouting department, marketing department. But if we speak about the decision makers, this I think that this is the space in the clubs where people should be more aware of changing in the football market, and in the whole, that the technology is becoming more and more important.
In this section, I asked Damien about where the power lies between Kylian Mbappe and PSG in what is turning out to be a bit of a weird move.
Yeah, we spoke that clubs should be at the top of the pyramid of needs. We spoke that there is a lot of that clubs, agents, and players want to rule the market, and all of them want the best for them. And I think that the case of Mbappe is one of the best examples how a player can rule the transfer market, and how he can control the situation. It's also a very difficult question, because uh, what could you do if you would be could be a Mbappe? You could act in harmony with your individual uh, thinking, and you can listen to your heart. But in the other hand, you have a question that you want to win some trophies. You know that with PSG you can't do it, because we aren't speaking about the French league. He wants to be as uh, he wants to leave his mark in the history, like for example Messi, Maradona, or Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think that he know that he can do it with PSG. Uh, and this is the question, but in my opinion, he will go to Real Madrid soon, and
Because
this is my opinion. But I think that it's not a healthy situation for the clubs and for the market. But you don't have a lot of players on the market who can do it, like Mbappe.
So, does Mbappe get to define his value a little bit more by the fact that he's younger and clearly very good and has a lot of value to his clubs?
You know what he brings to the table, what his value is. So I think that you had Haaland on the market uh, last year or 2 years ago, and now we have only one player who can with such a status. So it's only him, and I think that he's aware of that.
So, as Damien says, he sees a footballing revolution coming in the transfer space. What's the end position for that revolution?
You know, for us, it would be the best if all of the clubs could be on platforms like ours and makes transfers only there. But I know that it's a wish thinking. Mm, but what makes us very happy is that FIFA also see the issue, and we have to remember that last year, at the end of last year, they showed the new law, new rules. If we speak about provisions and how agents can work, mm, but it's really difficult to say. If we speak about our company, of course, we want to have all the clubs on the platform and give them opportunity to make the transfers and to communicate with each other. And if player wants to have an agent, don't worry, you can have an agent. You can share with this agent your own money. Uh, and yeah, and this is the thing. Also, if we speak about Mbappe, and I mentioned Haaland, you probably remember how much Haaland's father got from Manchester City for the transfer. And there is a question if it was good, right, correct, and maybe this money could be spent in the other way on academy or something. But I want to answer this question. I will just leave it for you and the listeners, uh, and and yeah, and we will see what happened in the future. But I hope that we will be part of this change in football industry.
Big thanks to Damien for his time and to you guys for putting up with the audio issues. If you enjoyed, please like the video, comment below what your thoughts are, and subscribe. See you later.